Yeah, so the frequency and when you're doing your strength work in the week, that's the question we get asked a lot. How often shall I do it? How hard should it be? It all just depends on how much time you've got, right? If you could drop a run session and replace it with one strength session per week, then it should be quite a long session. We're trying to cover quite a lot of stuff in there, keeping in mind that we want a full body workout, potentially throwing in some flexibility and rolling at the end of it. Generally, we want around about an hour should be enough to cover all the strength work, and ideally you're doing that 2 or 3 times a week. Okay, so a full hour dedicated to strength. I know some of you will be like, what the hell, how do I fit that in? But it just comes down to priorities. What's the top priority? Is it to run faster or to be able to run at all? If you're in a situation where you have had a lot of injuries in the past, this could be the key to preventing those coming back. And the great thing about strength training, we've really just talked about prevention, injury prevention for strength work. Once you've done a good few weeks of strength training for injury prevention, then you can start progressing it into more explosive stuff, strength work that's going to make you run faster, which we'll definitely touch on in another workshop.
From a physio point of view, and this is something again that different schools of thought, my answer is if you can stand on one leg whilst you're brushing your teeth, waiting for the kettle to boil, if you can do a few squats whilst you're at your desk, if you're replying to an email, you think you probably shouldn't word it like that. I mean, think if you're on the phone to somebody, sending a text message, you can lunge, you can do all of these things little and often throughout the day. The big thing that I get as a barrier, and why people say, I didn't have time to do my strength training. If you've got time to come to physio, that generally means you've got half an hour to an hour a week that you could dedicate to your strength training. So try as much as you can to fit little bits in throughout the day. Then when you get to doing your strength training, you've already done half of it. So it becomes more part of your routine, and it's not the one thing that falls off as we get busy.
Yeah, we've got 2 total different ends of the spectrum here, right? So with my the way I like to work with people the most is you'll have a set of exercises that are your most important exercises, and you're going to try and do them as part of a big set, once to 3 times a week. But if you don't have the time to fit in a full hour of strength work, it's important that you can still try and fit it in other ways, and it could be tagging it on to the end of a run. If you're going to do that, just make sure that you're not doing anything dangerous. Obviously, we don't want to be doing explosive exercises if we've just had a hard run. But depending on how hard your run was, will dictate how much energy you've got to do the strength work. If you're using weights, if you're looking to do heavy squats, even if you find a 50 kilogram squat quite easy, if you've been out for a long run or just a tough run, it's hard to concentrate, let alone the fact that your muscles will have less energy to perform that squat correctly. So, do alter your weights based on that. But there's no reason why you can't tag stuff on. We tend not to do strength work before a run because it's just going to increase the chance that you're going to get sloppy when you're running. But again, it just depends on which is more important on the day. If you knew you had a light run, a really easy run coming up, you'd still do a reasonably hard strength workout beforehand, but your head should be focused on posture, how to run properly, not on, am I keeping up with my speeds?
Never be afraid of doing your strength exercises slowly. If you really want to know how true your strength is, remove the momentum. Okay? And that's how you'll start to see any cheats and stuff. Go ahead.
I think the last note you had here was on time of day.
Okay. That is my favourite question that people say. Should I do it in the morning? Should I do it in the afternoon? Should I do it in the evening? My answer, I don't know. What do you get up to in the morning, the afternoon, and the evening? Some of us are morning people, some of us are evening people. My answer is you need to do your strength training at different times of day. Because when you first get up in the morning, you're going to be fresh, your body's been relaxed. At the end of the day, it's a little bit more of a challenge. You've already done whatever you do during the day, so some of those muscles are going to be pretty fatigued. So try not to stick in a routine where you do bam, bam, bam. Connor's big on routine, and I agree with that. If you can have 3 sessions in a week, that's brilliant, but try to vary the times of them so that you're challenging your body in different ways.
I mean, ideally, you could do it at any time of day. you wouldn't be afraid of doing it in your evening when you have worked hard through the day. You know, the fatigue that we feel from working and, you know, having life stresses thrown at us is different to the fatigue that we experience with our training, you know, whether it be running or doing strength work. You know, you've just got to make sure you get the other bits right. You know, the nutrition, the hydration. You know, the longer we go through the day, if we're not sipping on water, you know, keeping those levels up, then of course we're going to feel knackered at the end of the day. And you know, maybe maybe we will find ourselves in a space where we just shouldn't be doing a workout. But it's just, you know, that's why you've got to do all that other stuff right. You've got to sleep well, you've got to eat well and drink well during the day.